Hey y'all, and welcome back to my channel. So first of all, I want to say thank you so much for 11k, and let's get into these questions. So the first question is, if I could ask a question, I know you took a break for a bit drawing every day, but do you recommend just doing it forever? At some point, I have a fear that I could get burned out. Thank you for the question. I would say that it depends, because some people actually replace their phone with their sketchbooks. So I would say that for them, it would be very weird to not draw every day. But personally, I could definitely take a break. I don't think breaks are bad, actually. I think they could be really good because you get the chance to miss your craft more. Because whenever I don't draw for a while, I really feel like going back to drawing, and I look forward to it. Before art school, when I was in high school, I did economical law because I wanted to be a lawyer back then. Drawing was my escape. I always looked forward to it during like unintentional breaks because of a lot of homework and studying. So I would just look forward to it. And I know that my art teacher, that I have in my school right now, she mentioned that she took a whole year break from either drawing or painting. I don't remember exactly why, but I think these breaks are really helpful. But the thing with breaks is that it also depends on how long you take them for, because if you take like a year break, that won't affect your art that much. But if you take a 10-year or 7-year break, it could really like make you forget certain methods that you used to know about, and it could kind of make you a little rusty. So when it comes to breaks, like, know the amount of time you want to take them for, because I think like it can go further than you imagine or than you expect. So you don't want to take it too far so that you don't even know how to draw anymore, but you want to take a break that's like reasonable. Because I'd say like I've taken a month break from drawing when I went to Ivory Coast, and I've taken 2 months, 3 months breaks, but that doesn't really affect my skill. I guess it just makes me a bit more scared to get back into drawing, but it's still worth taking a break, because sometimes you just need to like freshen up your ideas and just take some time to reflect. Because whenever you're not drawing, ideas probably build up in your head and you can write them down, and then when you start drawing again, you can just have a bunch of ideas and just start getting to it. I also think that it's beautiful to let yourself take a break from something and then miss it again, because today, like right now, I draw every day. I go to school, all I do is draw, and it doesn't make me miss it. It's just a habit now. It's like I do it every day. But if I were to not draw for a while, I would definitely miss it a lot. What I notice now is that I'm not like excited every day to draw. I'm not extremely excited, but I try to show up. I just try to do my best. And your best will be different depending on what state you're in and like what type of emotions you're feeling. So it depends. So to summarize, yeah, I think breaks can be super healthy. You get new ideas and you get to miss it, which we sometimes have to, honestly. Question number 2. So I've been thinking about what to study, and I'm really into fine arts. It's what I'm most interested in artistically. The only downside I've heard is that studying fine arts is not a good idea financially. Seeing that you're in a fine art school and you seem to be doing very well, what are your thoughts on pursuing a fine arts academy? Thank you for the question. I think personally that a fine art school can be great if you really want to refine your art skills. But personally, I've been through a lot in this city that I'm in right now. It's in Skåne, Sweden, and I would say that it took a while for me to feel stable with the apartment that I have and everything that I have right now. It took a while. It took literally like basically half of the time I was here. I've moved total 4 times between 2022 and 2023, which is crazy, because I got the apartment that I have right now in like beginning of 2024, and already then I had already been here like half of the time that I had studied. If I had not had a job or gotten a job, I would not have been here, and I would not have this apartment. I started school here 2022, and I had 60,000 Swedish kronor in my savings, which I guess is like $6,000. And I had worked and saved up money that whole year, in the year, like the end of the year before. So by summer, I had basically used most of the money that I had saved. So I was going broke for real. Like I had almost like no money left. So I got a job at the grocery store, and I still have my grocery store job. It's so helpful. Like sometimes they'll need somebody to like jump in, and it's perfect for me because I don't always have time to work because of school. But another thing was that I wasn't 100% comfortable in my last apartment. They hadn't renovated it in like years, and the landlord didn't care at all. I told her about it, and she was like, oh, whatever. I was like, girl, I'm getting out of here. So in that situation, I had basically two choices: give up or try to find another apartment. So I kept searching, and I kept like keeping my hopes up, and staying patient. And now I have the apartment that I have now, and I just love it so much. Like, I feel comfortable here, and it's convenient. Everything feels better than in my last place where I was crashing out every day. Like, with that being said, I would say that going through financial instability while studying is very hard because you can't truly focus on school because there's stuff that you need to buy there as well, like art supplies, canvas, stretcher bars, and if you can't buy those, you cannot participate in the schoolwork. So I would recommend to like have savings and being well prepared, because me personally, I had the privilege of being able to ask my parents for money, and not everybody has that. So I would say try to save up more than 60,000 kroner, because that's not enough like for 3 years of school. Try to save up a lot of money so that you can have it in case of emergency. And I would recommend to actually, like, if you plan on going to fine art school, it's a lot to deal with, but if you can have a job that's like from home, like working from home, working during the weekends, and yeah, I think it would definitely help you. Because in the beginning, like, I was told that it would be so hard to have a job while studying, but I'm doing it. I did it. So anything is possible. Like, when there's a will, there's a way. I would say, however, that the experiences that I've had here have made me very emotionally resilient. Like, I'll be sad about stuff, but I always find a solution. And doing this, going to art school despite these hardships, has really made me realize that I can truly count on myself and be self-reliant. Because now that like all of this has happened, I have so many stories that I could share with y'all. I've really learned to emotionally like regulate, and I think that's important for anybody because it gives you emotional intelligence and you just grow as a person. But I wouldn't recommend being financially unstable before going to school because you won't be able to 100% focus on school. Like, I've moved 4 times in total. Like, imagine what toll that takes on your schoolwork, on your mental health, and all that. I still went to school and all, but I feel like I would have been more focused had I not been moving like all the time and just like having to work and stuff like that. So I can actually make a video on like things that I wish I would have known before going to art school, because you don't really know what could happen, and I really wanted this experience for myself, like going to art school. So I was willing to do it, like no matter what. And that's why I like still got a job here, and I just kept wanting to like finalize my dream. To wrap up my response, I'd say that it can be financially straining, but everything you do will really depend on you and how much you're willing to like sacrifice, I guess, to chase your dream, because I really wanted this, and that's why I like got a job and made sure I started even YouTube to like, document the journey and everything. I'll give you 3 like helpful tips that can really help you before you go to fine art school. Actually, my first one is go there and visit. If they have croquis, you can go and see how the city is and how the school is and everything. 2, try to get a job in that city if you feel like you'll need extra income while you're studying. Like, get the job before you start school, because if I had gotten the job like since the beginning, like since 2022, I think it would have been better. And also, I'd say like really reflect and think about if you would do anything to keep going to school, because you never know what could happen. Like, during school, I've lost a family member. I've gone through a lot of emotional up and downs, and it has not been easy mentally, and you gotta really know if you'd still keep going, because yeah, life happens. And I guess you can't really predict how you'll react, but you can predict, or you can give yourself the heads up, like prepare yourself mentally and reflect on this. I'd say that I'm doing fine right now because I worked to make this happen, and I made sure that I was fine. So it's definitely possible, because I was not fine in the beginning. I was a mess. And yeah, I think you can do it. You don't even need to study all 3 years. If you can go and do 1 year, that's also possible. You could learn a lot by studying a lot, like after school, reading books, asking a bunch of questions to the teachers, and start painting early. And yeah, then you could like get a lot from just 1 year here, or 1 year of art school. This is also a great question, because I think like I'll actually make a video dedicated to this, because my life might look great from the outside, but it took a while to get to this point where I feel fine and where it looks fine even. Ooh, and I also want to say that it also might seem like I'm doing really well because that's what I show. I don't show y'all the ups and downs and whenever I'm like really sad and stuff. So you only get to see the highlights. You don't really get to see when I've gone through stuff. And even right now, I'm going through something. It's a situation that I'm still trying to navigate through, and I haven't really shown y'all like when I'm sad and stuff. But the thing with me is that I really keep going no matter what, especially when it's something that I really want to achieve. Like if it's a dream of mine, I will keep going. That's pretty much it, because I could have given up like back in 2020, like 2023, because that summer like I was a mess. So the fact that I kept going is what has led me to having this apartment and just being more stable. Somebody actually asked me how I'm so wise, and I think that's so kind of you. Like, thank you. I've never really seen myself in that light, but thank you, I appreciate it. I honestly think that it's low-key by constantly self-reflecting. I do it before going to bed and when I'm about to fall asleep. So whenever things happen, I always wonder why and try to understand my feelings and myself, and I do research if I need to. Like, if I can find the psychology behind something, I'm on it, and I'll read all about it. Like, I'll read all about it and just try to apply it to my situation, or try to find the answer to what I'm like going through or whatever, so I can like apply it to my situation and learn how to grow from it, or just see where like I went wrong. Like, I just love to find answers. And I also seriously listen to older people who have been on like this life path longer than me, and I take their words so seriously. Like, when I was younger, me and my grandma would have hour-long talks. Like, we would sit down from day to night and just talk. So I think that really helped me from a young age. Like, I was about like 12, 14, like we would always talk. So I think that's very helpful. I also listen to artists and people here on YouTube that have done the things that I want to do, or who have successfully done what I aspire to do, and I try to learn from them. I think, however, that all of this comes to just self-reflection and always seeing my own self and my art as a work in progress. Someone asked, when I draw or paint, what am I seeing and what do I want to capture? I draw mostly from life right now, and I would say that I draw what I see, or that's what I attempt to do, and I always try to get the likeness and for it to look like just like it does in real life. Sometimes my subconscious can definitely start making things up and draw what I'm not seeing, but when that happens, it's important to just take a step back and really compare my painting to what I'm seeing in real life. And this is very hard in the beginning, of course, but the more you do it, the more it sticks. And I still struggle with that, you know? I feel like some artworks might seem effortless, but none of them are. There's thought and like just a little bit of struggle behind every artwork. And sometimes there's doubt and just trying and failing all the time. It really helps. So this is question number 4. I'm currently studying at an online atelier program and I get critiques once a week. What kind of schedule do you recommend for consistent results? Honestly, I wish I can attend in person, but none are available in my city. I live in Riyadh, so I have to be disciplined by myself. That's super cool that you live there and that you're watching me. Thank you. If I were you, I would draw at least 2 drawings every day, and they don't have to be like new drawings every day, but at least 2 things, because this is what we do at my school. So either we draw 1 still life, 1 cast, or a barg in the morning, and then in the evening we do figure drawings. or figure paintings. What you might want to do in the morning, like from 8:30 to 11:30, is work on a longer project. This is inspired by my schedule at school, by the way, but you can even start at 9 maybe. Maybe you draw that same thing for a whole week and work on it till you rendered it properly and added shadows and everything. What you also got to do during this time is write down your questions. I get critiques 2 times a day, and the worst thing ever is forgetting what you wanted to ask. So write your questions down, because they will come up while drawing. Like every time you draw, you always get a question in your head like, oh, how do I do this? And if you can, make them as specific as possible so it's easy for the teacher to know what you mean, because sometimes I have questions but don't ask them correctly or like properly, and then like I feel like I've wasted the critique, which is quite unfortunate, because if I had like framed the question in a way that would be like easier to understand, then they would be easier for the teacher to reply. So you want to really formulate these questions and have them written down so that your teacher can know what you are talking about. So the purpose of this schedule is really variation, so that you can like alternate between those two drawings, because it can get boring to draw just one thing. And when you get to like switch between drawings, you can go back to the one that you were drawing before and actually see the issues with it more easily, because then you've drawn something else for a while and you kind of forget the way that the old drawing looks, and then when you look back at it, you might be like, this is wrong and I need to fix this. So basically in that afternoon, you can learn about body parts and how to draw the body properly. I think that this is a great way to switch it up, because if you work on one thing, you might crash out. Like sometimes I feel like crashing out even though I'm working on only 2 things and I want to do more, or I want to do something else. But it's good to learn to finish what you're doing, especially for those long drawings. So this one in the afternoon, you can choose how long that figure drawing will take you. And also don't forget to take breaks, because at my school, whenever we draw the figure, we're standing all the time. So we draw for 25 minutes and then we take a 5-minute break. And in the middle of like those 3 hours, we take a 10-minute break, and that's very helpful because you get a little bit of like resting time. Or you could use the Pomodoro technique, and I'll put the picture of how it works on the screen, but it's really helpful too. This is how my routine looks right now at school, but I don't know how my routine will look after school, or like how I'll like draw after school, but I'll make sure to update you on that too during the summer. So question number 5 is, what would you tell someone who's worried they're wasting their time getting an art degree? It's completely normal to like have doubts and have these thoughts, but if you think about it, I would say really take some time to reflect. Take even 2 weeks to think about this, because only you know what you want to do with your art degree at like after school. Only you have the true answer as to why you considered doing art in the first place. So how will you be using your art degree after art school? Are you going to sell artworks? Are you going to build a community on social media? Do you want to be an art teacher? I know we're used to the fear-mongering stereotype about the starving artist, but it does not have to be that way. And you decide that for yourself. You are the one that will build that business. You are the one that will be selling that art after art school. And if you want to post on social media, you're going to be the one posting the content, at least in the beginning. So you can either see art school as an opportunity to grow artistically and use it to propel you into the best version of yourself, like the best artistic version of yourself, or you can choose to do nothing with the degree. So when these doubts creep in, try to remember your why. Going back to your why and why you're doing something will always be like really helpful whenever you start thinking about, oh, am I wasting my time? Like, why am I doing this? Going back to why did I choose to do this in the first place will always give you the right answer. I'll tell you my why, for example. So my why is that I'm not doing this just for myself. I'm going to art school because I genuinely want to help other artists that have gone through what I've gone through. Like before coming to art school, I was thinking about how I really wanted to go to art school. I really wanted to learn how to draw. draw better, and I wanted to just be the best version of myself artistically. My goal is to help inspire another generation of future artists, and I have to do the work. I have to walk the walk before I can talk the talk. So for me, my why is, this is bigger than me. This is my future, and me doing this will help others in some way, and I just know it. That's why I'm willing to go through all this. That's why I just really kept going, even though I had a bunch of obstacles, because it was bigger than me. It wasn't just for me. So having a why will help you understand yourself more. It will help you give yourself purpose to why you're going to art school, and it will make it easier to understand whether you are wasting your time or not. I hope this makes sense, because I don't want you to feel overwhelmed by this, but the responsibility is really on you. But I truly believe that working smart and being persistent and having consistency will help you reach any goal that you want, for real. So this is the last question actually. It says, my question would be, what advice would you give to someone so that they are not ashamed to share their art with others if they want to make themselves known? I would probably say, would you rather go through the pain of being uncomfortable for a while, or would you rather go through the pain of regret? Yeah, I hate regret, so let's get into it. Because regret really eats at you, like, for the rest of your life sometimes. Imagine going around like thinking, oh, I could have did that when I was younger, but I didn't. That's not fun. Like, imagine thinking that you should have done something, but you didn't do it, and now you regret it. Terrible. Terrible. So my advice is really have that as a mantra. Like, would I rather regret, or would I rather be uncomfortable for a while and then getting used to it? Because after a while, you stop caring about those thoughts. Because in the beginning of like my YouTube journey, I was like, oh, what if people see my videos and they think my drawings suck, and they think like I shouldn't be talking about art because I'm not experienced enough. Like, I would think, oh my god, like it would be better if my teacher made such a video like this. But I learned that at school, and I'm like, it's just insecurity speaking, honestly, because you are fully competent. You can share your art. Like, who's gonna say anything? And if they say anything, they're jealous. Jealousy. I used to think to myself that I shouldn't talk about art motivation because I'm not at the level that I want to be at artistically yet. And that doesn't make any sense, because art motivation doesn't have anything to do with your skill, honestly. Like, you can talk about motivation for being an artist on any skill level, honestly. Once I did it, I noticed that it actually helped people and people enjoyed it. So just do it, because you will most likely regret it if you don't. And actually having resentment towards yourself for not doing something is the worst. Like, you don't want to be mad at yourself for not doing something. I would say just share your art before it's too late, and before you're like, oh no, like I should have done that but I didn't, and now I'm stuck. Like, nah, you don't want to live like that. So thank you guys so much for asking me these questions, and thank you so much for like watching my videos. I absolutely love y'all so much, and it's crazy to me that you're watching my videos. So thank you, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Mwah.